Hola, Taboo Breakers. Bienvenidos a Taboo Talk Latina Edition. Yo soy Cynthia.
And I'm Jeanette, and this episode is extra special because we're celebrating 1 year of Taboo Talks Latina edition.
1 year of raw, real, and unfiltered conversations about everything we were told not to talk about. From identity and motherhood to ambition and cultura, this space has become our home for breaking silence and laughing through the healing.
That's right. And only feels right that for our 1 year anniversary, we bring it full circle with the very guest who believed in us from the start, who helped us shape what the show became, and who has always kept it 100% real and hilarious.
Today's guest is the definition of funny, authentic, and relatable. She's a Dominican American content creator, accountant, and Latina mom who has built a community of over 6K followers through her viral everyday life videos that make us all say, my God, that's literally me, or my God, that's literally my mom.
Yes. Master the art of turning real life Latina mom moments into pure gold. Whether it's the drama, the discipline, or the no te me hagas la loca moments we all grew.
From her hilarious skits to her raw takes on motherhood and identity, she's a voice for every Latina who grew up walking that fine line between tradition and transformation.
Let's roll the red carpet for Jennifer Maria. Welcome to Taboo Talks Latina Edition.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you for having me. And this is a tearful moment because who would have thought a year later we're here? Oh my God.
Crazy.
Well, I thought you guys would be here. You guys as well.
Yes, you did.
But if you recap back to everything that has happened, it's so amazing for you guys, girls.
Thank you. You were the very first guest, and now for us, it's like a full circle moment.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's such an honor. I wish we had like confetti, Jennifer.
I know. Hey. When I wait up.
And I want to take it all the way back to the beginning, Jennifer, because we have to we're going to walk down memory lane because I want you to really truly remember how much you have helped us. So I started a whole different podcast by myself because I was like, I had it in my heart to start a podcast. I didn't know what it was going to be about. And then I was making up every excuse until one day I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start. I have the mic, I have a computer, and I'm just going to start. And I wanted to bring in different guests. And I have followed your journey from the beginning. And I would always send like your reels to like my family, my mom, because it was just so relatable to me. And I remember thinking one day, oh my God, what if I DM her and invite her as a guest? And I was like, oh, let me DM her. In my mind, I was like, she's not going to reply to me. And within like minutes, you replied and you were like, yeah, I'm down. Like, let's do it. And I was like, oh my God, okay, let's do like a phone call just to get to know each other. And you can kind of see the layout of the podcast. And immediately when we jumped on the call, éramos prima. Like, it just felt like I've known you all my life. Like, it just was like good vibes. You agreed. And I was like, okay, fine. We do the recording. I hope you remember my lighting was horrible. I don't even think I had lighting. I did it in my basement. My audio was horrible. I think 30 minutes into our recording, I didn't hit record. I didn't hit record. And I remember I noticed and I was like, oh my God, Jennifer, I'm so sorry. Like, we weren't recording at all. And I remember you were like, it's okay, girl. Like, hit record and we'll redo it. And I was like, are you sure? And you were like, yeah. I remember finishing and telling my husband, I am so embarrassed because this happened and that happened. And he was like, how did she take it? I was like, she was totally fine. And he was like, okay, like we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
And then from there, we just like developed this friendship. And one of our videos went viral where we were talking about pelo malo and we were talking about every Saturday we would go to the salon. And that's really where the idea came. That's really where Taboo Talk Latina Edition was born. Because I remember the comments from that video of so many people just saying like, oh my God, I grew up the same, like every Saturday. And now I just really embrace my curly hair because I was raised with the pelo malo and now I'm embracing it. So I remember thinking, man, what if I start another platform, another podcast, and start talking about all these taboos that we just grew up hearing? I ran the idea through you, and you were like, go for it, girl. Like, go for it. So that is our full circle moment and the birth of Taboo Talk Latina edition.
Yes. Oh my God. I remember that day too. And it's funny because knowing who you are, as like a friend and stuff, I know that that moment you were turning so many different colors, but I didn't know you, right? And I'm like, it's okay. I'm like, it's okay. It's all right. We're gonna figure this out. Just hit record and we'll do it again. It won't be the same, but it's all right. Cause you
Yeah,
know, you podcasts are kind of on the whim. Like
Yeah.
you don't have word for word what you're gonna say. So yeah, but it turned out amazing. Look, a year later. And what was the name of the old podcast? Girls.
oh my god, the Glow Up Social Girls.
Social.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yeah.
Full circle moment. I mean, we're here now, so
I
it's so
know.
amazing.
Yes. So we always start at Taboo Talk Latina edition with this question. What taboo shaped your story and how have you started to break it?
So, for us Latinas, Afro Latinas, I feel like just us, we're breaking taboos every single day. Our parents, like for most of us, like me, I'm first generation American, and like just being loud and being yourself and being heard, that's a taboo that it's like mejor calladita, right? And it's like I broke that a long time ago. I broke that from El Pajon. I've worked corporate America my entire life. El Pajon has been my staple piece for like now years. But when I first showed up, I showed up as me, right? I was like, I'm showing up as me. And everything I do, I show up as me. And I'm like, this is who I am. So I keep being loud. I keep being that Latina. I keep being that person that um that doesn't fit in the room, but is gonna be in that room because I represent for las mujeres que vinieron before me and for my cultura, like always, always. And I make sure everybody always knows of like who I am, right? Like this is who I am. Oh, you're because I am I've said this before, so I have different names, nicknames, names that people call me. So like my family calls me Chi Chi, the world calls me Jennifer Maria. Corporate America calls me Jennifer Lee, right? So then all these different women are me. I bring her all together and I'm the same person any which way. Any name you call me, I'm going to be the same person. So I always try to be that and the taboos I always break is just being that loud girl and being who I am.
And it is so true because when I first met you, it was the same person that Cynthia introduced me through a reel, right?
Yeah.
The same conversation of like, oh my gosh, she's awesome. Like, I can't wait for you to meet her. You are awesome. And just, you are,
Oh, thank you.
it's not like, you know how you might think, oh, she's probably faking it for content. And maybe when she hits stops, she's someone else. You're not. And that's the fun part of it, that you are the same person on screen or behind screen. I think that's just so beautiful because it's hard to
Yeah.
find people, right? Especially when you're doing content creation, because I know that gets so overwhelmed that you're
Yes.
image, but you haven't let that affected you either.
Yes. So I think we spoke about I feel like we had this conversation. I feel like it's deja vu,
Deja vu.
right? I feel like we did. I don't know. When we met for the first time on the taboo talk side of things. But yes, we mentioned that. And I was like, it's crazy because I feel like people have K followers and they switch up on you. Yes, you do have to change a little bit, but you could still be that same girl. You could still be that same person and you don't really have to change. And I don't ever want to change. I mean, it's one of those things that I tone it down a little bit of who I'm around because like I might be too much for somebody, right? And I've noticed that, but that's also with growth, that's also with knowledge, and I might tone it down, but not too much. Or I notice that I distance myself too, right? I distance myself. If you don't like my vibes, la locura mía, lo que yo digo, like if you don't like it, girl, this is who I am and I can't change it, unfortunately.
I love that.
And fortunately for me.
And one thing that I love, and I always tell Jeanette, I know when Jennifer is in a room of opportunities, I know our names are being spoken in those rooms because that's just who you are from the beginning. Like the amount of times I have texted you, we have texted you, hey, how do you do this? Hey, you know this person. Like, do you mind like sliding us in there? And you're like, yeah, sure, of course.
Yeah.
So we just truly appreciate that, from the beginning
Thank you.
until now.
I'm like that all around. I'll be like, "Oh, you need a job? Espérate, I know fulanito that got a job." So I'm always like that. Oh, because I feel like there's always that connection with somebody else, right? And I'm always like, if I can boost, so I have this platform, but it's not for me only, right? Is for my other friends. It's like to bridge everything, to bring everybody together and to help. Because yeah, I went viral, but I'm like, we're all gonna go viral. We're all gonna boost, right? And look at how many just looking because I actually fun fact, I listen to you guys' podcast on my drive to work. So I like listen to it. I remember like there's been a couple of podcasts that I'm like driving and I'm, ay Dios mío, just crying, right? And I'm like, I'm not even supposed to be crying at 7 o'clock in the morning. But it was like one of those things that I do support. I do listen, I do like, I watch. And I think people need to understand, like, yes, you have to support your friends. Cause there's room for all of us.
Yeah.
There's room for everybody. So I'm
100.
always giving you guys your kudos and I just love to see the growth. And I'll be like, I know them. Yeah, I know them.
I know the Talk Girls.
Yeah, literally.
You're amazing. We thank you for that because we see it and it goes a long way. So thank
Thank you. Thank you.
It's wild to think about how much has really changed, right, since you first came on this show. So I know we mentioned about the taboo, but around mindset, what's one taboo around mindset that you completely outgrown in this past year?
One mindset is just I'm going for everything that belongs to me. For
Yes.
everything. Every single thing, if you think it doesn't belong to you, if it's on your mind and in your heart, it belongs to you. And for me, it's been that. And I'm like, oh, this is what I'm doing. Because when I first started content creating, I said that. I said, I'm going to become an influencer. And people were like, how? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how, but I'm going to become one. Right. So I've thought about my past and I'm like, okay, well, I got this, I got that. I can get everything. Everything that I want and everything that I'm praying for and whatever's in my heart, I'm going for it.
I love that, and I think it's such
Yeah.
a pivotal moment for the Latino community, like, right now as we're speaking, and I think there's just gonna be this amazing shift, and then when I see someone like you and, like, other content creators that are Latinos, I'm like, "Yes." I'm like, "There's room for all of us
All of us.
to, like, climb that ladder, like, there's room."
And I think about it because coming from corporate America, most of the time you're the only Latina in the room.
Yeah.
90% of the time. And when you do find another Latina, you're like, girl, where you from? You just start chatting it up. And then if you speak Spanish, olvídate que se acabó la vaina.
Yes.
So I am very much like, I'm always the only Latina in the room and the exotic one. And I'm just like, it is what it is. Whatever. I'll receive it any which way. But I notice also in the content creating world, we're also the only Latinas in the room.
That's
Unless they have a Latina influencer event, when it's just a regular event, we are mostly, there might be a group of us, right, that's in that room and we have to continue to represent. I just went to an event it was in New York and I was probably the only brown skin one of the only brown skin women in there. And then it was sad too because even the panel, I'm not gonna call them out on it, but even the panel, I was like, I wish they were Latinas, right? But they were also like there was some Latinas and there were some American women. And I was like, wow, I see no diversity up there, right? In a sense of like el color de piel también, I think that has to do a factor, right?
Yeah.
Like right now, nosotros somos de tres diferentes tonos de piel, right? And it's like we represent each single little girl out there that's looking up to us.
Yeah.
That is so true because every time it's the same thing here. I go to events and they're representing Latinas and there's barely conversations about Latinas or Latina women's in the room. And I'm like, wait, am I in the right event? Right. And it's crazy because even content creation, I see so many content creators that are Latinas and not one reel is about being Latina or about growing up in our roots or any of that. So it's like
Or even like I feel like some of them don't even like show like if I'm on a panel, maybe people are gonna assume, okay, it's una morena, right? But I'm gonna show you that I am more than una morena, right? I'm gonna show you that I'm this Dominican girl from the Bronx. I'm gonna show you that, right? In a nice way, in a flow, in my way, in a sense. And I feel like even the girls that are on that panel, show your culture. tú no tienes que estar con una bandera to show who you are.
Yeah,
But I feel like when you show who you are, just by you speaking, just by you telling your story, you're gonna know who you are and where you're from. So
I
yeah,
love that. And being in these rooms, like you mentioned, is so difficult. Like, how do you handle that and not get discouraged, not get overwhelmed? I'm also in corporate America, so I'm the only Latina in my tax group. There is a few other Latinas in my company, but in my group,
yeah,
I'm the only one.
same.
So it's like, how do you show up and not get like just discouraged, right? Because yeah, we do look different, right? From our hair, from our skin color, like you mentioned. So how do
Yeah.
you show up every day?
You know what? I think it's because I've been dealing with it for so long that I'm just like, I'm just gonna show up. Like, I'm just gonna show up. El acento me sale alguna vez y no me sale. Sometimes I'm like, what am I? You're translating in your head and you're like,
What's
the
going
word in Spanish is this.
Yeah.
And in English is what? What? Like, it's happened so many times, and I'm just like, and then the word that comes out is like a Spanglish word that doesn't even make sense, right? So it's like I just show up. I just show up even in corporate America in the rooms. I think I've been dealing with it for so long that I know how to show I'm like, I know how to be in these rooms. I know how to sit here and um kiki with somebody that's not maybe that doesn't have a similar culture to mine. And I'm just kind of used to that. And I just continue and I'd be like, hey girl, hey guys, hey, how's it going here? Everybody's good? And I remember I think I read a quote from like Jay-Z, and he has said that he shows up in every room the same person that he was, that he is, and he doesn't switch up. And I was like, we do have, that switch up code. Cause if you do see dímelo, que no
Right.
que, whatever, right? But then if you see maybe somebody that's not from your same culture, you're like, hey girl, how's it going? But I still give the same vibe. Hey
Right.
girl, how are you? What up? Stuff like that. But you just adapt to it. I'm like so used to it that I'm just like, okay, we're here. How are you? I'm Jennifer.
and it's one
You
way to
know?
be comfortable too because it's not going to be comfortable at first. It's just finding that comfort zone within you. And like you said, just go for it. And hey, it's going to work out great. And if it doesn't, it's a lesson learned, but better for the next one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's hard, right? Especially when you're like in corporate spaces. Like for me, the other day I told Jeanette I have a meeting at 8 in the morning, right? And it's like that reel where you had to clear your voice. Hi.
You gave the
You gotta give, like, the
your corporate
professional
voice.
the corporate voice, and then, that you're done with the call, and you're like, "Okay, I can go back, back to myself."
It's so funny you say that because my kids the other day, I was on a call and they're like, Mom, why are you talking like that? And I'm like, guys, I had to like do my professional voice, a little bit. Like I can't be like gang gang out here.
It's so crazy how they can tell, right?
Oh, that's funny, and we know all your reels that have gone viral, you have literally turned them into comedy gold, and they're basically like mini taboo sessions that you're just putting out there. How do you find humor in these things that you grew up with, in your household? So how do you find humor in these taboos?
You know, because you're saying taboo, and I look at it and I'm like, there's people in the comments that they're like, I'm going to therapy because of this. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
I applaud you though.
I'm like, I'm so sorry. But I look at it as like healing for people, and I'm like, you're not the only one that went through this. You're not the only one that had a loca as mom. You're not the only one out there. So I just wanted to represent the my skits are not exactly my mom, but they're like a hybrid of my mom mixed with my aunts. I didn't want to make exactly my mom because she's like, yo no soy así or whatever. But it's like one of those things that I find so much humor in it because I'm like, ustedes son loca de verdad. And you guys are crazy and you guys say the most random things. Like, it's so funny because my mom said something to me yesterday, and yeah, I'm gonna make a video about it. And she's probably gonna be like, "Tú hiciste el video," but I make it my own thing, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this is how you guys react. This is how you guys act. So I find so much humor, and I think they're actually hilarious of the things that they say. But it's very like it could be hurtful for some people, right? If you don't have a backbone, as a lot of people say in my comments, Latina moms aren't made for the weak. Like you have to have a backbone in order to be raised by a Latina mom. I mean, a lot of mothers are like that. Black mamas are like that too. There's some white mamas that are like that too. Europeans. So you have it, it's just in a different setting, right? And they say things in a different way. So
Now,
I'm just
I'm curious. When you first started them, did your mom call you up and be like, "Y es okay," or did you like kind of made her aware of it, or how did that happen? Like, how was that experience with your mom?
so yeah, I didn't call her.
No.
I didn't call her. I just put it up on Facebook and she's like, "Ay, vi el video. Oh my God." Because the first one that went viral was the one with washing the panties, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, sí, es verdad, cuando tú estabas chiquita, yo te enseñé a lavar los panties or whatever. So she didn't find nothing in that because it was very like como genuine and it was very sweet.
And
But
really
then the raunchy ones, the ones that are like very like cursing and all that stuff, she's like, she got she was like, "Oh, wait, hold on." And then when she noticed that I started going viral, she's like, "Oh, this is like something that you're really gonna like enhance." She's like, there were times that she didn't want to talk to me because she felt like I was gonna do a video with everything that she said.
I can imagine.
And I was like, "Ma," and she's like, "I the próximo video." And I'm like, "Mom, no, you can have conversations with me. I am gonna take some things for my kids." But
That's so funny.
so she's very much like now she's like supportive. She's always in my comments. She always now I created an Instagram for her, so she always sees it. Um so at first she didn't understand, I guess, how viral I was or the fame that I had behind my social media until I got stopped a couple of times. And for some reason, every time I got stopped, I was with her.
Ooh.
And they're like, "Oh, I love your videos," or whatever. And she goes, "Yo ni sabía que tenía una hija famosa." And I'm like, I told you, and you don't want to believe it."
Okay, help me write the scripts.
Yeah,
Keep talking to
exactly.
me. Oh, that's
It's so
adorable.
funny.
And they're our biggest supporter, let me tell you, because
Yeah.
yesterday, Jeanette's mom is the cutest. Jeanette's mom was like, gimme, I'm gonna repost all your video on my TikTok because she has like a bigger
Yeah,
follower
TikTok. Yeah.
on TikTok,
But she
and
said
she has a bigger following than us.
and she's a big following, and I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yo no tengo cara para eso." And I'm like, "Mom, you're already doing it." She's like, "No, puse en mi cuenta." And I'm like, "But you're already doing it because she posts, like, videos, but not her talking, just her, like, modeling with a song or something." And it's just
Oh my God, you gotta send me her. You gotta send me her TikTok.
Yeah.
but it's, like, the biggest supporters, right? But, yeah, you're right, and then when I show her, like, a video, I'm like, "Mom, this is yeah, talking about mom." She's like, "Sí, ya yo lo vi." And she starts smiling, I'm like, "Oh my god." She's probably like, "Is that me?"
They're
But
so
yeah, yeah,
funny.
no, I mean, it's one of those things that even my dad, he'll like promote me. He'll be like, "Mira, esa es mi hija. Esa es mi hija," to
Proud.
everybody. And he'll call me randomly. He'll be like, "¿Cómo se llama la cuenta otra vez?" I'm like, Rayita Bajo, Jennifer Maria. And he's like, "Ven, te voy a poner a somebody." He'll put somebody on the phone and I'm like, "Hey, how are you?" Yeah. And I'm like, the most random person. He's like, "Oh, I bumped into this person in the barbershop here." And I'm like, "Hola, ¿cómo está?" So it's just so funny.
That's so funny. The video that Jeanette and I did where we're outside Walmart and I'm like
Yeah.
the mom and Jeanette's the baby, at the end, I said, Maria Santísima, something like that. I showed
Uh-huh.
it to my mom, and my mom is like, y yo sueno así. And I said, yes, mom. I said, yes, mom. I remember as a child, you would say that all the time. She would be
My
like, Maria,
God.
it would like name all the saints.
Oh my God. That is hilarious.
It is so true, and they don't realize it, right?
It's true though.
Yeah, oh my God, 100%. That's so funny. And I know you were literally our first guest, and now we're back a year later. So we have to ask you, how have you evolved since the first episode?
Wow. Since the first episode, I think the first episode, I was probably at like 20K followers, maybe.
Wow,
20,
really?
30K maybe. Wait, it was a year ago. So maybe not 20, maybe like half, like 40. It was probably like 40. And now I'm at 70K on Instagram. I've created which I need to expand it, an event, and it's Jennifer Maria y las Chicas. It all started from me and my cousins were think we're las chicas del can, and it all deprived from there. So I just want to create right now it's going to be like a yearly event, and hopefully I started here in Atlanta. Hopefully it'll be one in New York, one in Miami. I'm not even sure yet because it's like it takes a lot. It takes a lot to
Yeah.
throw an event. It takes a lot emotionally, physically, and all that stuff. So yeah. And I in this year too, this has been my biggest year that I've had so many partnerships with brands and stuff like that. So that is like a big moment for me. Like I know that next year is gonna be even bigger, and this year is like, wow, like brands are really looking at me and they're like wanting to work with me, and I had no idea at that moment. I also got have a brand manager as well. I didn't have one back then. A social media manager. I didn't have one back then, and you know when you're evolving when you start adding people to your team, right? And I had to as Latinas we are, we wanna, like in your household, you wanna do everything, right? And at one point, it's like you can't do it all. So I'm like, I gotta let go a little bit. So I had to learn how to let go. I had to learn how to let others do for me. I was always that person like, oh no, yo lo voy a hacer, yo lo hago. I'll do this, I'll do that. I've been doing this since forever. And I had to let go a little bit and let other people help in this journey, right? Because that's the only way you can grow. That's not the only way you can grow, but that shows some type of growth
Yeah.
Oh,
within yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's
it
so
gives you
beautiful.
room to focus on your stuff, right? You kind of
Yeah.
delegate these small tasks, and then it gives you room for that growth.
Yes, yes. And then I have a third child as well. I didn't have 3 kids, I think, for my first episode. Did I?
I think you
No.
were pregnant
Was I pregnant?
with your
Wait, no,
third.
I just
Oh,
had the
you had,
baby.
yeah, I
Yeah,
was
because
gonna
I
you
just
yeah,
had the baby. Yeah, because he was in the video.
yes, yes.
Yes.
that was so beautiful.
Yeah, I just had him. So then that was like another thing, like adding a third child, everything changes. Having 3 kids, a lot of things change.
Oh, yes, 3 boys.
And
3 boys.
you're still doing an amazing
You
job.
guys know. You
Yeah.
guys know boys.
Oh, yeah, boys are wild.
Yeah.
Oh my god, and what's one thing that 2024 Jennifer would tell 2023 Jennifer?
Goodness. 2024 Jennifer would tell 2023 Jennifer? Oh my God. Girl, pa'lante que vamos. We're going
Yes.
up and we're going to continue to go up and trust the process.
I love that.
Because 2023 Jennifer, she was, she just went viral in 2022. So 2023, it was very eye opening trying to figure things out. So then 2024 was like, okay, we're figuring it out. Either but 2025, we've kind of have it figured out at this point, right? So
But you see, it's the inspiration that whoever's watching today, that it doesn't happen overnight.
no,
That, they have to keep going because we tend to see that one viral video and think we made it and it's great accomplishment, but that's not the final line.
yeah,
It's beautiful that you share that with us today because there's still light at the end of the tunnel. And like you said,
yes.
2026 and 2027 is going to be even so much better for you.
Yes, yes. My hopes and dreams, I hope my coworkers aren't watching this, but I mean most of them know that it's to like leave corporate America, right? That's my dream, that's my passion. It's like I dream about it every single day. I think about it every single day. And like it's like one of those things that is nothing wrong with being in corporate America, but it's like now that has been fulfilled. Now I got to move on to my next step and my next chapter, right? So I'm trying to figure that part out. So
And
when y'all see me out there, because somebody the other day said, "Oh, I didn't know you had a job." Yeah, I got a job. How you think we're gonna pay these bills?
yeah. But you know what? I actually told Cynthia, I didn't know you had one until I got to know
Ye-
I was gonna say Jeanette either.
I was like, I didn't know that. And I love that you embrace that because as a new follower, when I met you then, it was nice to see that because we get tired of seeing people just quitting their jobs or like just living off content creation. They have 2 jobs on the side. There's nothing wrong with that. But the
No.
beauty showcasing that to show other people what's possible, that's the real beauty. And I love
Yeah.
that about you.
Yeah. And I always think about this, right? You're gonna be beautiful, right? But you're not gonna be beautiful forever.
Mm.
And you're gonna be beautiful inside, but the exterior is gonna look a lot different. And I remember one of my bosses told me, like, because I started corporate America when I was like 21 years old, this little girl just showing up and whatever, like, what's up? or whatever. So my boss was like, you're pretty. And he's like, you're going to be pretty for a while. But then if you're not pretty on the inside, the outside is not going to be as pretty.
Oof.
And he's like, and you're also going to be older one day, right? And maybe your beauty's not going to be the same. And I was just like, damn, he's right. But I was always beautiful on the inside. He was just like giving me like that, don't think. And I'm like, honestly, I never thought I was like, I do think I'm like the best chick out there. But it's also one of those things that in my heart, I'm not like that. Right. But I have that confidence and I built that confidence to act that way, to
And you
act like a baddie.
and there's
You
nothing
are
wrong
a
with that.
baddie.
I know. I'd be like, what? I'm the baddest chick out here. Like, what are we talking about?
Baddest girl in town. No, Jennifer, we talked about how Taboo Talks has grown, but you've also been part of that journey, right? Cheering us on, reposting, supporting, showing up. What's one moment this year that made you feel proud to be part of this community of women?
For Taboo Talks or
For Taboo.
for Taboo Talks is so there was a pivot that you guys made. There was a pivotal change that you guys did all of a sudden in your interviews, in your confidence, and it showed through the screen. So it was like one of those things that I was like, that's right, girl. That's right. Show up, show out. Even your introductions, I don't know if you noticed, but your introductions is very organic to the person that you're interviewing. And I'm like, just from that, you're like, oh, wait, what is this about? So I feel like just that pivot, and I don't know when it happened for you girls. I don't know if if you girls noticed that,
Yeah.
We
but when
did.
you guys pivoted, I was like, it was like, okay, they're bringing everybody in. They're bringing us in, and we're here. We're listening, and I'm proud of you girls for like just taking that step and putting that work in because I know that was it because I remember when I started content creating, I put work in, I read, I listened to videos, I did research, and I know that's what you girls did. I know you girls did your research and figured out what works for us, what's organic to us, and what's organic to our followers. I'm proud to be watching, proud to be a supporter, proud to be writing in the comments. And also, I mean, I'm wearing the shirt just to shout it out. So, and you guys are now having your merch.
Thank
Somebody made a comment about your cafecito cup
Oh my god, really?
to me, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Yes, that is hilarious." I'm like, because it says something like chismosa.
Yes.
What is it? Mi cafecito con la chimosa or something
you.
like
Chisme, or yeah, it
that.
was
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's the growth, right? Is the growth that you guys have done. You guys meeting each other, that was like a big deal. For me, I'm like meeting Cynthia. I met Cynthia this year for the first time too. I haven't met Jeanette yet, but I met Cynthia, and I feel like just being a part of this community and just seeing you guys grow is just amazing and beautiful. And it's like, keep going because I feel like it's needed so much to talk about this stuff. You guys are doing it.
thank you.
Thank
Thank you for
you. I'm
noticing
gonna
too.
need a tissue.
Thank you for
We're
because
gonna get emotional.
yeah,
Yeah.
we did. So
No
thank
te
you.
pongas a llorar.
No.
Yeah, no, it was funny that you say that because Jeanette and I like felt it at one point where we're like, okay, we have to switch things up just to kind of bring in our audience. And it was from a feedback that we received from someone. And you know how you always say, like, yeah, like I accept constructive feedback, right? Like, we're both in corporate America, like, and Jeanette too, like, we know how that goes. But then when you get that feedback, it's hurtful at first. Because when we received the feedback, I was like, damn, it kind of crushed you and you almost like want to give up. But I remember Jeanette saying, like, no, like this is our pivotal moment. Like this is constructive feedback. We take it and we run with it and we switch and we improve. So I'm so honored that an outsider was able to be like, you guys, there was a switch, there was a shift that happened. And now you're really looping in people.
Yeah.
And we're
Yeah.
here and we're gonna keep killing it, us all three, because we're
Yeah.
to do this and to make a difference, which that's what matters the most, right?
Yes.
Creating these communities for us, for the next generation, but for women to come together because we need more of that.
Yes.
All right,
We
Jennifer.
need your support.
Before La Tia Chismosa crashes the party, It's
Ay, ay, ay.
for sin filtro. Rapid fire question. No thinking, just vibes. Ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so the first thing that comes to your mind, what's a phrase your mom used that you now catch yourself saying?
Dios. I feel like
It's so
she probably says it different, but
but
that's probably it.
Yeah.
okay. The most Latina mom thing you've ever done.
Oh my God. The most Latina mom thing I've ever done that I still do is aquí nadie ayuda. Mira esta casa. That's the most Latina. Nadie ayuda. You just start throwing stuff and you just start cleaning and búscame, like, muévete. Like, it's like all these different things. That's the most Latina. I do that. I do that often.
And with
I
the
go,
worship song at the end. And they're like, esta está quemada, esta está loca.
what's wrong with mom? Like my kids be like, is mom okay?
Yeah.
Like they just look at their dad and they be like, is mom okay?
Your husband's probably like, yeah, she's fine. Give her some time.
He stays out the way. He'd be like, because when it comes out, it ya que exploté.
Yeah,
Ya exploté, ya I've been quiet for a little too long.
I love it.
okay, if you can only pack 3 things in your Latina survival kit, what would it be?
Three things in my Latina survival kit. Ay, Dios mío. I mean, I need my phone.
Okay.
I need, vamos a ver, ¿qué más yo necesito? Los lentes para hacer los videos.
You gotta keep making those videos wherever
Yes,
you are.
I'm good. That's it. Yo estoy rica ahí, ya.
La luz.
The light. I was gonna say I do need my wallet. I need my wallet just in case I need to flee somewhere
De comer.
y comer.
We know that with the glasses, we're like, she has to say the glasses for
I have to say the glasses, right? I can't live without it.
no. Okay. One taboo topic that deserves its own merch drop.
Ooh, one taboo topic. Dang. Me la pusieron difícil. I mean, you guys did la tía chismosa. That's like a big thing.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna bring this back because Cynthia brought this up in the beginning, our conversation, pelo malo. I'm gonna bring that back.
Unlimited
Just because Cynthia's also embracing, I don't know if you guys noticed from the first episode,
girls.
Cynthia was a blowout girly. Now she's a curly girly.
Yeah, I'm embracing.
So pelo malo, I mean, it will be very it will be very close to Cynthia, especially. And I think that would be a topic on a merch that can be a hit.
Hey.
Limited edition, and we'll put your initials next to as inspiration.
Let's go. Or we could do a collab. We could do a collab.
Yes. A
Beautiful. I love
collab.
it.
Let's figure it out. We'll do a collab.
Yeah, okay. Taking notes. Okay, last rapid fire question for you, Jennifer, before La Tia Chismosa comes in, because she's getting ready to come in. Since it's our 1 year anniversary celebration, who's more likely to cry first? Me or Jeanette?
Me, ya-
Me? Really?
People, I don't know. They always the perspective, right?
No, because earlier she goes, I want llorar. And I'm like, no, no, yo.
No, no.
You
I
said
got
Jeanette?
to be more.
You're a crier?
Yeah.
I'm like in our relationship, me and Cynthia.
Yeah.
I'm like she's more like no, and I'm more like why?
And I think it's that corporate mentality. Girl, I've been in corporate since I was 16. So I
Oh my
think it's
God.
because of that I'm very like a perfectionist, like to-do.
Headstrong on things. Yeah.
And I'm from New York, I was in Wall
Yeah.
Street. So I think because of that, and then Jeanette brings like this like soft side of me. So it's like amazing because we both bring out like the
I think it's gonna switch. I think it's gonna be you're gonna be La Llorona.
La
I
Llorona.
can't
That's
wait to
another
La
merch.
Llorona.
I can't wait to see that.
Bueno, ya la tía chismosa viene por ahí, señores. Déjame ponerme los lentes. Since you guys are celebrating your 1 year anniversary, let's flip the mic. Now we're gonna interview the Taboo Talk girls.
I'm
Vamos a ver, porque espérate, yo no veo bien,
I
señores.
wasn't ready for this.
Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Are you guys?
Ready.
Me puse los lentes para que estén preparadas. What's one taboo you thought would be hardest to talk about when you started Taboo Talks Latina Edition, and now you can laugh about it? I'm gonna ponerme los lentes.
For me, was mental health because I never went to therapy for the things that I've been through when I was a child. So for a long time, like I felt like therapy and healing were things that we didn't talk about in our culture, right? So me just talking about it, I felt like, well, if I didn't go to therapy, who am I to talk about mental health? Like I had this different concept. And I feel since we first started like taboo talks, it's saying the words like therapy or breaking like the generational cycles. I get goosebumps, right? Laughing through it, but really understanding that we're all going through it differently and we have to be louder about it. So mental health for sure was huge for me. The
Yeah.
hardest.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I think for me, kind of similar. And just sharing my story, like I've said it multiple times, like I had a lot of suicidal ideation and I went through like a lot of depressive episodes because of what happened to me as a child. So being vulnerable and speaking about that, I thought it was going to be the hardest. But then I learned like once I start speaking about it, there's so many people that are able to relate. And then you kind of like draw that bridge and like bring them in and they're able to relate. So those are 2 good things. I think mental health and just opening about, like, our journeys, like, what we went through.
I could see that. I thought about that. I thought you would respond like that. And I was like, I hope she brings that up.
Yeah.
Because I remember our first conversation was in regards to that. And I was like, you would never think that, because I think people hold a certain facade and you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. And it's also like kudos to you guys that you guys do want to talk about these things and are open to it and are out here, I mean, putting yourselves in front of a camera, right?
Thank you.
So I think there's a big deal.
That was a good question.
Chismosa tiene otra pregunta para ustedes. If you could go back to the very first day you started Taboo Talks Latina edition, what's one thing you'll tell yourselves before hitting record?
I would just say, "Dale, let's just be us, non-scripted, and let's just talk from our heart." That's what I would say. Because at first when you're doing anything for the first time, you're nervous. You're like, "Okay, like, the script has to be, like, a specific way, like, make sure you say this, I don't say this." And then it's just like, no, almost like put your shoulders down, like, relax and just be you.
Yeah,
I
same
love
thing.
that.
I had in my mind to trust your voice and then pivot as we go, right? And that's something that we've been doing because at first I feel like it was being nervous, getting the script, who we're going to interview them, are we going to say the right thing? Are they going to also get the message as we would like to share it to them as well, right? And then not knowing what was gonna happen, like not seeing ourselves where we are today, but without really noticing the impact that it can make, right? So trusting our voice and pivoting as we went really was like the power.
I love that. Yeah, you guys have been doing amazing. So, I mean, keep going. And it's one of those things that I know more and more people are like, I want to be interviewed by these girls, you know? Um, because it also puts like for creators in general, right? We wanna tell our stories. So it's like a podcast is a perfect space to tell your story,
Yeah.
especially when it's like about ourselves, about Latinas, every all that we've been through in a sense. So I love that. And you girls been doing it and killing it.
Thank you. Thank you for the questions. This was amazing.
No problem.
I love
And then no, I have one more question that it's off script. One more
this.
question.
Okay, that
Como ustedes dicen, si la tía chismosa la ven a ustedes hoy, what would she say about you girls?
I love this flip the script. Oh my god. My tía chismosa would be like, ¿y ese pajón? ¿No te peinaste? ¿Qué pasó? El pajón. ¿Qué es eso? And then she would, bring the soft side and she would say, yo te veo a ti en Instagram y en Facebook. Yo te veo muy bien. Good job. And, she would end it with something positive, but for sure she would say something about my hair.
Yeah.
My tía chismosa would start with saying, y ustedes hablan de latín y no hablan español. Yo no entiendo nada, muy bonita. Pero nada de que entiendo, no entiendo lo que están diciendo, si están hablando de mí, ¿qué es eso de tía chismosa? Háblenme en español. And we'll start with sharing how proud she is, how my red hair is very bright and out there if I'm gonna keep it for long. And and be excited about everything that we're doing because we are making a difference.
Yeah, I love that.
I love that question, and I know we have it for you too. I know a year ago we asked you that question, but now we'll bring it back to you.
She's like, "What?"
What do you think she'll say about the growth that you have made in a year? What do you think she'll say about you?
Mm, they would be like, "Wow, qué orgullo ser tía tuya." And yo te veo en Facebook y te veo y le doy share a todos los videos, o le pongo un comentario, como sea, y esa soy yo, la que está bailando, o esa soy yo, la chismosa, o esa soy yo, la que le di una pela a la niña, whatever. So I think las tías chismosas, they would be so proud. They are so proud of me, and they make sure they let everybody know that I'm their niece.
So beautiful.
Esa sobrina mía, mira, igualita a mí. Me parezco.
My God, Jennifer, thank you so much for being here for from our very first episode to our anniversary celebration. It just truly means so much to have you back and like just share this space with you. You've been a part of this journey from day one and seeing your own journey and your growth alongside ours is just so magical for us.
Yes, thank you, ladies. Thank you, and continue doing what you're doing for us, para la cultura, para todo el mundo.
Thank you. No, that Jennifer. Thank you. You remind us that humor heals, that laughter connects us, and that being real is what makes our cultura so beautiful. So keep doing your content, keep showing up with authenticity, being vulnerable and being you, because that's what's going to make you go even farther.
Thank you, ladies.
Yes, and to our taboo breakers, thank you for one amazing year, for showing up, speaking up, and breaking every taboo with us. Make sure to subscribe, follow, and keep sharing. Y aquí nada se queda callado.
We'll see you next time on Taboo Talks Latina Edition.